Today is story time, and we'll start out with a story about drones. I've been wanting to do a really in-depth drone video, but I hadn't got the time until now. And this isn't the in-depth video, but this is like a starter video. So the story: there's a friend of mine who I will keep him nameless so that no one can go out and harm him, because he's been harmed in the past by government agents. And so said friend, let's say, has a father, and yes, this is a true story, this is not something I'm just making up, has a father who is involved with the shadowy government in some way or another, in some kind of covert operation or overt operation, and eventually the government comes and asks him, as part of his job, to do something that he is morally opposed to and refuses to do. Well, of course, if you're doing that in a government job, what's going to happen? Well, you know it's coming. You're going to be fired. And good on you for having a moral conscience to resist tyranny and not do what the government says if it's tyrannical. So that's what the dad did. The dad was, propositioned by the government and says, I'm not going to do what you ask, and was fired. And normally for something like this, like if you're a soldier, well, they're going to discharge you, and this dad obviously isn't a soldier, he's in some kind of other position. There might be some ramifications, like if you're in some kind of a job with a security clearance or whatever, then they might they're going to revoke all of your privileges. You're going to kind of go on a government blacklist. This is all behind the scenes, something the government is not going to show anyone. But what happened to this particular father? Well, the government took it a step further. They put him under home surveillance covertly. And what did they do? Did they post an agent outside of his house? No. Well, they had a drone to spy on him. And you think, well, how is that possible? They have those Predator drones and the Shadow drones and all the ones they have over there that they bomb the terrorists with. Well, no. They've been saying, we're going to bring drones here for civilian, or not for civilian use, but for police use and for, domestic use. It's not something that is, coming. It's already here. They just haven't told you about it. And really, how do you know it's already here? Well, one, I'm telling you this is a true story. And two, look at the look how cheap it is to build a drone. I'll go into that later. So anyway, this person's put under infrared surveillance up there, regular and infrared, so they can see behind the walls, see what's going on. 24/7, I don't know if it's 24/7, but under surveillance just because he agreed not to do something for the government. And they tried to come after him, get him on some crimes that he never committed. And if I don't remember the end of the story. I don't remember if the dad was acquitted or what. I'd have to ask my friend, but I want him to not be involved in this video at all. Anyway, so you got this drone spying on this dad. Now, how do you know that the government is going to do this to you next? Yes, the drones are coming, and what prompted me to do this video is Mike Bloomberg, the idiot mayor out of New York, anti-sugar, anti-soda, what's his new thing? He's got he has something really stupid now that I saw. The new thing he was doing, I don't remember what it is. I'll have to find it. Anyway, he comes out and says, yes, there's going to be drones coming out, flying around New York, and well, what are we going to do about it? Well, you as a civilian, you're just going to have to deal with it. There's going to be no privacy, and these are not, my words. He said, deal with it. Let me go find it right here. And Google is so fast. He says they're inevitable. I need to find the exact quote because I don't want somebody saying, oh, you're just, you're misrepresenting Bloomberg, the mayor. The respectable, independent Republican mayor. No, he's a disgrace. Should have had this prepared. Okay, here's this quote. We're going to have more visibility and less privacy. Then they cut out some stuff. They go to the next part, the next sentences. I read the full thing. You can't keep the tide from coming in. And then it goes in what the commentary. He said ominously, Resigned to a supposedly inevitable scenario where drones constantly patrol the skies. It's not a matter of whether I think it's good or bad. I just don't see how you can stop them. Well, you're the mayor, you can stop them. Sure you can, but that's not your goal. You want the public to be co-opted, and you're trying to prepare them psychologically for this. Now, why are they out there already, and why is there more of them coming? I want anybody who is not read up on drones, go on YouTube and look at what civilians are doing. You can do this with these kits they have now, like the hobbyists. These are hobbyists. What they can do for a few $1,000s, and in some case $1,000 or less, they can take these things up. They'll get video, night vision. They have different kind of drones, all kinds of them. They can take these things up. I saw one go up to 8,000 feet. I've seen them go higher. Yeah, this is all on YouTube. Search drone FPV, the letters. F is in Fox, P is in potty mouth, and V is in victory. Okay, I don't know, make that up. F is in Fox, P is in potty mouth, V is in victory. FPV, drone FPV, go search it. So if a hobbyist can build something that can go up there for quite a long time, they can keep them up there for 10, 20, 30 minutes, some of them. I've seen some go up to an hour, and just fly around and look. And that's on a budget of a few thousand or less. Now, what do you think the government has the capability to do? With all the resources in the world, at their disposal, they can spend $100,000 on a drone, or more. The ones they use in the overseas cost a lot more, but just a simple surveillance drone, it costs them nothing. Look at this itch. It costs them nothing to do, and I mean, why would they? They're already using them. I've already told you this story that they're using them. Bloomberg comes out and says they're going to use them. They're going to be everywhere. They're just too cheap and they're too good. They've got infrared, night vision, and they're boosting the flight time now with these new batteries. Actually, I'm going to go get. This is let's see if I can find it. No, I won't go get it. It's called a lithium polymer battery. I have one because I have one of these little hobby drones. I bought one for cheap, and yeah, I can do some pretty crazy things with it. I can take it up over 100 meters. That's plenty enough to spy on somebody. I don't have a camera on it or anything, but if I can do this on a few $100s, you can't tell me that they say they're going to do it. They're going to be everywhere. It costs too little. It doesn't cost that much at all. So be ready for it. We've got to try and stop these things. Not for civilians. Actually, what the government is going now, go Google Washington drone ban. I think it was in the state of Washington. They're trying to stop hobbyists from using them. So it's only like there's not going to be any up there seeing where the police have drones. Only that they're trying to cut off the airspace to civilians and hobbyists. Now this bill never passed, but they'll try and pass it again, and it's just going to be complete police state, total control grid. They don't even need cameras on the ground anymore. I remember people have been freaking out for a decade about London and how there's a camera everywhere. You just need one of them up there a few meters. You can have one for every little bit. And the thing is, when you're a hobbyist, you have to build your own antenna and everything put one up in the air. The government, they can put an antenna wherever they want. New York City, it's going to be kind of hard to deal with a lot of the interference because there's buildings everywhere. But for a real wide open city, kind of like a smaller city like Oklahoma City, and Oklahoma City's not that small. I think it's got over 1 million people. But some of those less tall building cities, those drones are going to be all over. So we've got to stop these drones militarily, the ones they have overseas. But keep in mind, they're coming here, and we've got to make sure that the police don't get their hands on them because it's just going to be total tyranny and police state. And the thing that prevented them from doing a police state in the past is it was too expensive. Remember, it's too hard to, like Russia, why would it collapse? You got all these, Russia is a communist regime, it's too spread apart, you can't send that around a tyrant enforcer person, a KGB or a, NKVD or whatever, to go harass every civilian. But when you have a drone, you can see the ones you want to harass from the air, find where they are, and go get them. So that has been today's video on drones, and I highly encourage you to go see what civilians are doing with these. And when you see that, they'll take those up in the air, the civilian ones. That could be your house that a government drone could be spying on. and a civilian has the capability to do it, you know the government is going to try and get their hands on that technology, and well, they already have, and soon it's going to become widespread if we don't do something about it.